latest and the greatest. TP Way the Giant. It's your guy who was never lying. Sometimes defiant. See, I know and understand that you could have been anywhere else, but you're here with me. Let's go, let's go. V545. You know, it's a way of life, it's a lifestyle. It means we don't just talk like a giant, but we walk like a giant. You know, it's facts over feelings over here. This is where all the New York Giant soldiers congregate and have real conversations. Now let me make it clear. Viewer discretion is advised. The thoughts and opinions are not the thoughts and opinions of the New York Giants. Now before we kick this thing off, I need each and every one of you to make sure that you like this stream. And if you're new to this experience, especially if you are a New York Giant soldier, you gotta subscribe. 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 Come on, man. Now, grab your favorite snack. Grab your favorite drink. And if you smoke, we'll go ahead and smoke something from you. And we about to kick this thing off. One more major announcement that I cannot afford to let you sleep is that if you visit the description of this video, then go ahead and do yourself a favor and cop some merch. Official like a referee's whistle. That's how we give it up. Now without further ado, I said without further ado, let's get this shit started. All right. It's your guy who was never lying, sometimes defiant, TP Way the Giant. Another loss. Giants 20, Green Bay Packers 27. There was a lot of takeaways from this game, if you ask me, man. I don't even know where to start. I tweeted when we scored on the first drive. I told myself, I said, I'm not going to get fooled by the touchdown on the first drive trick again, man. I'm going to see it through. I'm not going to get myself hyped. But as this game went on, I'm not going to hold y'all. I thought we was going to pull the win out. This game, to me, was a lot different, though, than a lot of our previous losses. As crazy as it sounds, and we'll get to as to why. But let's start here, man. Let me say what's up to my guys who's in the chat. Kenneth Perkins is in the building saying, what up? I see you.
It's all good, baby.
Says TP Joe is going to be gone again at the end of the season. Watch. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a great possibility. It's a great possibility. I would love to see my guy Brandon Brown. That's who I'm advocating for to take over that GM spot, man, if this is the case. Money Mike says, get the number one pick and get a ransom from one of these QB hungry teams. Listen, man, the number one pick, I know it sounds good and all of that, but I just don't know if that is the answer, man. I don't know if that is the answer. We need a good draft for sure. Give us a good draft, but hey, man, we'll see. We'll get to that when we get there. Money Mike also says, next year, our break year. Just watch, bro. We back next year. I feel you. I feel the same, man. I feel the same. I really do feel confident with a new head coach. And this game actually, caters to that thought, man. And I'll explain a few things. We'll kind of get into why. If y'all seen what I seen. Matt Cruz in the building says Hyatt needs to go. Shout out to Matt Cruz. I see you. And yeah, man, I'm done with Hyatt. I'm done with Hyatt. I can't no more, man. I gave him all of the leg room that I possibly can. It's just not happening. It's just not happening. And I know you're referring to that last play in particular. Yeah, that was lousy, but there were some other things too that I just seen lousy play from Jalen Hyatt. Hopefully I can bring that up, man, and show y'all on film. It's just, yeah, that was bad. Kenneth Perkins agrees with Brandon Brown as the next GM. Dumpster Shockey says, this team reminds me of Skullprock from the Flintstones. Yeah, man. Yeah. All right. So let's do this, man. Let's start off and just read, the stat line here, man. Jameis Winston, like if you was to ask anybody as to what they thought Jameis Winston was going to look like, it would have been just like how we envisioned it. Like Jameis Winston looked exactly how we envisioned it. My man for Born for Sports, who was tuned in for the pregame live stream, he said Jameis Winston is the most quarterback you could ever get to see. 19 for 29, 201 yards and 1 interception. And to be honest with you, Jameis could have had about 4 to 5 interceptions out there. 4 to 5 interceptions. And I'm going to be real. I don't know what it is with us, but other teams have the cases of the drops when they go against us. Like, I don't know. I don't know the science. I'm not complaining about it, but that's just the case. As far as the rushing game is concerned, which we have to definitely get into, Tyrone Tracy Jr. with 19 carries and 88 yards. Devin Singletary with 16 carries and 44 yards. So clearly we definitely upped the ante as far as running the ball. Through the good, through the bad, throughout the whole game, we ran the ball. And I have to shout out Kafka for that because it opened up many things, man, and I think it worked, man. I like the fact that we kept the ball on the ground and we didn't just shy away from the run game. I love that. And I think these gentlemen, they ran the ball pretty well for the most part. In a receiving game, man, first of all, New York Giants salute to Isaiah Hodgins. Welcome back, young sir. I know that I was the one to say, yo, just everybody wait. Let's see what Hodgins that we are getting. And this was definitely the Isaiah Hodgins, man, that we have known to grow to love, man. 5 receptions, 57 yards, man. Shout out to Isaiah Hodgins for sure. I actually tweeted out because I couldn't remember off the top of my head. I said, yo, whatever number that Isaiah Hodgins had before, give it back to him. And it was 18, and Darius Slayton is 18. And I still stand with that. Hey, Darius Slayton, you need to go back to your old number. And Isaiah Hodgins get that 18 back, as far as I'm concerned. Tyrone Tracy Jr. also had 4 receptions, 51 yards. Wan'Dale Robinson, 4 receptions, 36 yards. Theo Johnson, 3 receptions, 36 yards. And Jalen Hyatt with 2 receptions and a lousy 18 yards. As far as defense is concerned, we'll get into that, of course. But Brian Burns with 2 sacks of the day, man. 2 sacks of the day. And this doesn't get any easier, man, just knowing that Brian Burns is having an absolute phenomenal year, man. Phenomenal year. And unfortunately, it isn't resulting to wins. Bobby Okereke leads the charge. I think he did a better job as far as playing a run with 6 tackles from what I could see. Of course, we'll look at the film and kind of get into that. But yeah, that is that on that, man. But let's get into it. Let's get into this. Let's get into this game, man. The first drive was like many of our first drives. Smooth sailing, good protection up front, us just making our way up the field, and we end the drive in 6. We attack the middle of the field. We get Isaiah Hodgins involved early. I noticed that Jalen Hyatt was in that starting rotation. And so to me, I thought it was a clean first drive. Then on the defensive side of the ball, I'm over here tweeting. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'm tripping or maybe I just missed it. But I don't see Abdul Carter on the field. Abdul Carter was not on the field for that first drive. I definitely need to know as to why. Was it a disciplinarian action? What was it? I mean, he was on special teams. He wasn't on that defensive drive at all. I don't know the science with that, but it didn't make any sense to me. Speaking of Abdul Carter, I mean, look, we're gonna talk about it. we just gonna have this honest conversation. When Abdul did get in the game, I wasn't so excited about his performance, man. I wasn't. And Giant fans and Giant content creators, y'all got to stop with the bullshit. Stop sharing clips of when Abdul Carter is doing something nice, and then trying to combat what people are seeing with their own eyes. Okay, Abdul Carter could give you a play where he looks, special, or he looks like he's made a really nice move. But Abdul Carter also lacks a lot of discipline. And when it comes to playing a run, I mean, there was times that him setting that edge was awful. Was awful. And I definitely felt like Kayvon Thibodeau was missed. And so everybody that was disrespecting Tibbs all in the offseason and talking about Abdul Carter was just going to be his easy replacement, this was a game where you could clearly see, like, no, Tibbs clearly brings something to this defense that Abdul Carter hasn't shown me that he can. I like what my man Coach Ward is saying. He looked lightweight. That is for sure. Moti, I see you, man. Moti is in the building. Giant salute to Moti. I see you. My man T-Tom in the building says, LOL 2-9 again. Time to get Shane, Bowen, Banks, Hyatt all out of here. Hey, man, you ain't getting no pushback from me. You are not going to get no pushback from me, man. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. SETI079 says defense is the biggest letdown for the whole year. Oh, defense was terrible. Yeah, the defense was terrible. Thank God. What's his name? Thank God. What's his name? Josh Jacobs. Thank God Josh Jacobs didn't play the whole game, because I think it would have been an even uglier game. Josh Jacobs looked like he could have did whatever he wanted to. We went back to that couldn't stop the run shit, and it was terrible. It was terrible. Even when Jordan Love was out, I said, well, shit, Willis can do the job. All he needs to do is hand the ball off. Kenneth Perkins says, yeah, Abdul got to learn. That's all. Yeah, for sure. For sure. He looked every bit of a rookie. Yeah, and Coach Ward says Abdul looks like a lightweight out there amongst big dogs. That's a fact. Coach Ward also says he needs to get his weight up. I'm with you. Either get his weight up or just be a lot more physical. One of the two. Maybe even both. But I'm with you, Coach Ward. Kenneth Perkins says maybe linebacker is his best position. Hey, man, that's for them to figure it out. That's what the coaches get paid to do. That's for them to put. They drafted him. They drafted him. That is for them to figure it out and put him in the best position to succeed. I don't give a damn if he's linebacker and playing a 3-tech, safety, corner. I don't give a damn. Put him in his best position to succeed. But I'm going to call it how I see it, man. He looked real regular out there for me, man. Real regular. And this was the game for him to do it with Tibbs' absence. With Tibbs' absence, this was the game for Abdul Carter to go out there and show us something. I don't give a damn about getting hype over could have been sacks. That shit don't excite me. And one thing I've learned this year, well, not even this year, but one thing I've learned being a Giant fan is that our standards are a lot different. That's what I know that for sure. When it comes to me and a lot of Giant fans, our standards are a lot different. Y'all want me to get excited over almost getting a sack? I'm sorry, I can't. We didn't draft him for that. And y'all fool me in all of these off-season talks and off-season highlights and all of this, but it's not translating right now. It's not, man. So I'm calling Abdul's number, man. I mean, shit. He just looked real regular. Real regular. Again, let's go to the offensive side of the ball. Offensive side of the ball. I think this game was coached differently. I did see the coaching changes. And for the most part, I liked them. You know, this wasn't a game where I felt like if we were in the lead, we would blow the lead. This wasn't a game where I felt like our coaching was just so lopsided. And I also want to put in a perspective for everybody to understand. We are banged the fuck up. And hypothetically speaking, like we weren't supposed to even be in this game. Like we really wasn't supposed to be in this game. But I like the things that I seen from Kafka his first game. Also, it was a quick turnaround for him to go from offensive coordinator to head coach. So I'm not going to kick his back end for some of the things that I've seen. Let's go through the list. I got some notes here. This is one of the things. How many times have y'all heard me speak about the absence of Elijah Chapman being used as a fullback? For those who've been tuned in, how many times have y'all heard me ask about the absence of Elijah Chapman being used as fullback? Because we seen it in the offseason. We hyped it all up in the offseason. There was clips being resurfaced all on X/Twitter. And then we get into the regular season and some way, somehow, we scrap it. Could you imagine with this running game, especially on short down conversions, what this running game would have looked like if you would have Elijah Chapman and Scat in the same backfield? Come on, man. I mean, this is not even rocket science shit right here. Also, Isaiah Hodgins. Why are we searching so far and so around the league for when it's right there? Isaiah Hodgins, good ass game, especially for this to be the first game. Come on, man. Isaiah Hodgins was the answer. Not like a set in stone answer to all our receiving problems. Was definitely a short-term answer as we trying to figure things out and get stuff moving. Especially an answer why Darius Slayton can't stay healthy. Definitely an answer why Slayton can't produce sometimes. We got Hodgins right there. It didn't take long for Kafka to do the obvious. I like the fact that we was aggressive on 4th and 2, 4th and 1s, and whatever it is. We was aggressive. We played like we were a 2-8 team trying to win the game. Y'all can say what y'all want. Okay, boom. We're going to go for it, though. We're going to go for it. And to be honest with you, the play calls worked. Even when we got in the end zone. Even when we got in the red zone, excuse me, we was in the red zone and Winston, he kind of felt the pressure, and he escaped the pocket just a little too early because the crossing route, I think it was Wan'Dale Robinson, was there. And if he would have just stayed a second longer, that would have been a different outcome. CFA says, this was a trash game. I'm so tired of this team and their losing ways. Yes, man. Yeah, I mean, look, if you ain't tired of us losing, then, hey, something is definitely wrong. I feel you, bro. I feel you. My man Papa Lillian is in the building, says, I like the commitment to the run. The heavy sets were great also. Yes. Yeah, just like I alluded to earlier, man. I appreciate the fact that we stuck to the run game from the start to the finish. From the start to the finish. You didn't sit there and say, oh, it didn't look as sexy in this drive, so we're just going to do away with it. No, stick to the run. Stick to the run. Pap also says, I think Jackson Dart gets busier on those play actions. I mean, look, I think it was super clear. And no, not trying to shoot at Jameis Winston. I mean, Jameis Winston was exactly who we thought he would be, right? But I think it's super clear that if Jackson Dart was plugged into this style of things, that, I mean, this offense definitely takes it to another notch. For sure. But, again, I wanted to see how Kafka was going to coach this team without Jackson Dart. Because, to be honest with you, what I'm tired of seeing is Jackson Dart being the end-all, be-all. Like, if Brian Dable was coaching this game, I'm not confident that on these fourth down conversions we going for it. Because he tucks his tail every single time Jackson Dart is not in play. Every time. So I'm not mad at it, but yeah, I definitely feel like if Jay Dart was here, man, it looks a lot different. My man T Thumb also says, sucks for Kafka. Honestly, I mean, he's in a crap situation. He starts his coaching career 0-1, and he has a sorry roster. We are just tired of the same thing every season. Clean house, the whole house. Yeah, but honestly, you look at this game, and you also say he before the game even starts, you also say to yourself, okay, well, this is what Kafka has to work with. Especially with Paulson Adebo not coming through. I thought he was going to be a plug. I thought he was going to be able to rock out. So Paulson Adebo, that doesn't happen as well. I mean, yeah, we was definitely beat. We was definitely beat. So you also have to say to yourself, okay, well, through it all, how do we look? And I really do believe that just not a bad game, not a bad coaching game on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, there were some things, but just not terrible. Just not terrible. Pap says, that was Dable to me. I think Kafka would make sure Dart has a run game. And look, I love it. Coach Ward says, tight end Johnson looked big time today. Hoping he can become our Gronk in the future. Hey, that's a big ask. That's a big ask for him to be Gronk. Hey, that's a big ask. But I will say, to your credit, when he holds on to the ball and he's not dropping that shit, he's a very likable guy. So I get where you're coming from. I just need to see more consistency and more of these style games from Theo Johnson, because this was a good game from Theo, man. And I want to see more of these from him, man. King Big Jers, I see who's in the building, says secondary was getting torched. Yeah. Oh my God, that was a terrible performance by this secondary, man. And I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything or defend them in any way, shape, or form. Secondary was definitely trash, but I'm also going to credit the Packers, man, because, Those were some beautiful throws down the field from one. And those were also some really solid catches. Really solid catches. And I'm not trying to take away from the fact that, yes, our secondary was most definitely getting torched. But, damn, man, Jordan Love, he was dotting them shits. Deonte Banks, he had he had a couple moments that I thought was solid, man, but damn, man. Damn, yo, like Deonte Banks, man, that touchdown that they scored, man, where everybody was in the right place. And it just, to me, like, I don't think this was the case, but I low-key think this was the case. I think Jordan Love was just like, look, where is Deonte Banks? Because right now, I have nowhere to throw the ball. But I know that my chances are high if I throw it to wherever Deonte Banks is. And he just threw that shit in there. And Deonte Banks wasn't in absolute terrible position. And then he, again, just couldn't make the play on the ball, man. And it's just like, damn, man. Deonte Banks cannot catch a break. But back to what I said, man. Back to the little coaching changes, man, that I seen. The Wildcat. I know people were on their toes when we went forward on 4th and 1, I believe it was. And we got into the Wildcat. And you could just hear whole MetLife kind of just like, whoa, okay. Again, we can't complain about it. It worked. We had a QB sneak on one of those fourth down conversions. It worked. We didn't have to get too cute. It worked. Just keep it simple. And that's a lot of what I like from Kafka, is just keeping it simple, not overcomplicating shit. Just QB sneak, man. When we in the goal line, put Elijah Chapman in the game and have him run some shit over. Keep the ball on the ground throughout the game. That way that play action is opened up. Like this, it's keeping it simple. But it's effective. T-Dom also says, true, I hear you, but 2-9 is what I see. I'm tired of analyzing games anymore. Tired of bright spots. It's every year. I'm sorry to be like this. I hate it as well. Oh, no, you're not wrong. But see, I understand that in order for us to get to where we want to be, we have to pinpoint the problem. And we have to see what it is that is going wrong. Because then you're just going to be just running in a circle. And you're just going to continue to be the same old New York Giants. So I understand what you're saying, right? I get it. I'm result-based, man. I need the results. And I'll take an ugly win over a pretty loss any day of the week. But when it comes to analyzing these games, you in order for us, I believe, to take that next step, man, we got to figure out what is what. And that goes with players too. You got to figure out, okay, what players are worth keeping, man, when this regime change comes. What players are worth being here and what players are not. So it's necessary. It's annoying, but it's necessary. Coach Ward says, facts on secondary. The degree of separation between our DBs and Pac's wide receivers was crazy. I'm telling you, that's a fact. T-Thumb also says, but Theo looked good. Hodgins looked good. Should have been on the team. And my man Tracy looked good. People dismissed him when Scat was playing. Yup. You heard me saying it. But see, this is what the running game can look like when you get the feet wet and you just stick to it. And it's not just a Coach Dable thing. I mean, a lot of teams are going through it. A lot of teams do not like to stick to the run. But it is proven time after time that you benefit from it. CFA says, Banks is absolute dog shit. The bank need to be shut down. Yeah, man, Banks look bad. Banks definitely look bad. Kenneth Perkins says the team has no depth. Certain positions on his team hasn't been addressed well, including some starters. It depends. I mean, what hasn't been addressed? What hasn't been addressed? Let me know. Let me know. But yeah, what else we got? What else we got? You also seen when it comes to the offensive side of the ball, you also seen the screen game being utilized. And it worked. It worked. You had Tyrone Tracy Jr. in the open field where he's able to, he already runs hard. He already runs hard. And Tyrone Tracy in the open field is dangerous. Devin Singletary, too. He's another guy who runs hard. But you could see. The screen game was definitely, implemented. And on these long down conversions, you see other teams do it versus us. Now we finally utilized it. My man, C-Rock, NY Blue, says Tracy wasn't dismissed. Scat took advantage because Tracy was hurt. That both can be true. Both can be true. I think that Scat definitely did take advantage of while Tyrone Tracy was hurt, but then when Tyrone Tracy was back, it wasn't splitting the carries. You still wasn't putting Tyrone Tracy Jr. In that running game like I believe that he should have. Think about it. Each back had 10 plus carries. That wasn't the case before. And so I would have liked to have seen that, man. When Tyrone Tracy Jr. did come back, I would have liked to see us stick to the run game and let both of them eat. Especially both backs being backs that can do something in the passing game as well. You could see it happening, man. You could see the play action, game. You could see us, okay, it's not there down the field. All right, we're going to dump it off to our running back. And they was picking up yak. So, I mean, hey, the simple things. Simple things sometimes we just don't do. CFA says we should have kept Turbo Miller. Of course. Giant fans have always been pushing that. But all in all, I mean, I wanna know from y'all. I mean, was it a different feel for you? Did you see any major coaching changes for you that was on the side of Kafka or maybe not on the side of Kafka? I mean, again, this to me is a tryout for Kafka. And even if we're not talking about a New York Giant head coaching job, a head coaching job for Kafka, period, I believe is what he's shooting for. And I'm not too mad at his performance today. I think players, at times just, I feel like they didn't step up the way I believe they should have in the late game stretch, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I do believe that the momentum was getting back into that game, man. The fans were bought in, and from the outside looking in, from what I seen from my seat on the TV, the fans looked like they was turning up out there. But again, also on the defensive side of the ball, I wasn't a fan of the pass rush. I feel like at times Jordan Love had way too much time back there. Way too much time. And I just feel like we have too much talent, man, on this defensive line for that to be the case. But again, that's a Shane Bowen thing because he just fails to send guys and he fails to create any blitz packages for us to shine in that light. And then even the commentators was alluding to the fact that we just continued to stay in man over and over again. And it wasn't that it was just absolutely terrible because, for the most part, I think that our defense was playing okay throughout the game. But if you realize that last touchdown, they only got there because of a pass interference. You know what I mean? They only got there because that was like a shot in the dark for them. But we eliminate these things from happening, man, if we could just drop our guys and put them in a position for, us to defend these deep throws down the field. And I feel like you limit that when you just have us manned up all the time. We ain't getting in any pass rush like that. And then you setting up Dane Belton to fail. You're really setting them up to fail. C-Rock NY Blue says, Tracy is not a hardcore runner slasher. We need that in our running game, my man. I'm not taking from that. But he damn sure runs hard. He runs hard when he does get the ball. But that's what the whole 1-2 punch is for. You have Scat to be the bruiser. But then you're supposed to bring in Tracy to be that breakout guy. That's what the whole 1-2 punch setup is for. And so I do feel like Tyrone Tracy Jr., what he does well, I think he does pretty well, man. He runs the ball hard. He usually never goes down on the first thing of contact. And he also gives you that big playability. And it's a shame, man. He had 1,000 yards, not even playing every game last season. He wasn't, our starter from day one. So I just feel like you have 1,000-yard all-purpose back, and you don't want to utilize it. I mean, I just don't make sense to me. Kenneth Perkins says, inside linebacker needs to be fast, cover unit safety, not enough cornerback, not enough talent. D-line needs depth players, plus another Darius Alexander type of D-line. I mean, how much more depth do we need on the defensive line? We can't say Joe Shane didn't address it. Linebacker, okay. Linebacker, okay. But we can't say that he didn't address these things. Even when we're thinking about safety, right? You have Javon Holland. You have pause real quick. I miss Jason Pinnock. Just wanted to throw that out there. I miss my guy Jason Pinnock. But anyway, you have Javon Holland, Tyler Nubin, Dane Belton. And yeah, their performance is not impressive, right? It's not exciting. But when we're talking about Joe Shane and what he has done and what he has addressed, I don't feel like there's much that he hasn't addressed. I don't feel like there's much. Again, Darius Alexander, for whatever reason, I mean, I don't know. The Shane Bowen, that's the him thing. That's a him thing. I think that Joe Shane's responsibility is only to bring the food to the kitchen. He can't cook it as well. So, I mean, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I think he's addressed it. C-Rock says, Breece Hall, I would sign him after this year. Yeah, well, he's going to have his pick of the litter because, we ain't going to be the only ones trying to be the only ones. But we'll see. We'll see. I think, I don't know, man. I'm looking at it from the standpoint, too, though. What does Breece Hall do so much more than what Tyrone Tracy Jr. does? I mean, I don't know. CFA says, I did see changes in the defensive front most of the game. Dex was getting it. And on offense, I saw a different strategy from Kafka. That's a fact. My man Pap says, Tracy runs hard. Turbo could have made a difference today. Yeah, man. Yeah. T-Thumb also says, we have overrated Turbo. He has straight line speed, not a lot quick twitch. How the heck could Turbo make a difference today? We ran effectively today. Yeah, I feel you on this. I feel you on this. But I also think that in other opportunities when we are hurt and hurt bad, like let's say if Tyrone Tracy Jr., if they're hurt or whatever it is, I feel like we should definitely dress them. That's where I'm at with it. I don't feel like Turbo could have done much more to really add to our running game today. I'm with you on that. But I also feel like shit, he should be dressed just in case. Like, we should always have two backs ready to rock. But I'm with you. T-Thon says Brees would be interesting. Coach Ward says we can't keep throwing picks at the defense. At some point, the players got to be utilized better. Scheme matters in defense. Oh, my God. This is where I'm at with it. Bro. I'm just saying. Like, I feel the same exact way. That's why we want to really hear that talent excuse, man. Like, of course, every team could always say they could use more talent. Yes, we could get more talent. But, I mean, I feel like we have enough talent, especially on the defensive side of the ball, where we not looking as terrible and clueless throughout the game. Again, man, scheme matters, man. No team has a D-line or overall defense full of studs. The scheme maximizes the potential of them all. Yeah, Coach Ward is cooking. Coach Ward most definitely must be a football coach. T-Thom says, dang, Coach, you are preaching the gospel. That's a fact. Kenneth Perkins also says, yes, but it's clear some players on his teams are mediocre. And it's why performance looks the way it does. Okay, so I like this conversation. Mediocre. Can mediocre get the job done? Because we say mediocre like it is like the most terrible thing in the world, right? But I've seen teams go to the Super Bowl convincingly and win by a few mediocre guys. I mean, let's not forget and act like the Patriots weren't the Patriots. See, the thing is, and what Coach Ward's point that he made is talent-wise, they were a lot of mediocre talent on those Patriots teams. But they were coached well, they were disciplined, and they did their job very well. So, to me, I look at it from a standpoint of, okay, you could call it mediocre, but are we coaching the mediocrity to the point to where we're making it as a whole look like a unit? Are we putting it together? That's my big question, because that's not the case. T-Thom says, when I say we didn't have talent, it's just my crazy talk and just me being in my feelings. I mean, we won a Super Bowl with James Butler as our safety in 2007. You know what I mean? So I feel what you're saying. I get where you're coming from. I get your frustration. Trust me. I get you. But this is, again, to my earlier point. If we don't pinpoint the main issue, if we don't get the cancer out the building, then we're just going to be just doing a whole bunch of moves and doing a whole bunch of shit and not taking that next leap and not getting better. Because what's going to happen if, like, let's say, like I said earlier, all the Giant fans that was talking about, oh, let's get rid of Kayvon Thibodeau. Okay, what's going to happen? We get rid of Tibbs. He goes somewhere else, and he's looking absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. We're going to sit back and we're going to say to ourselves, oh, damn. Not even Tibbs. We don't even got to stretch that far. We don't even got to say Tibbs. Let's say someone like wow, Isaiah Hodgins just got on the team, so I ain't going to go there. But let's say someone like, let's go on the defensive side of the ball. Let's say someone like a Bobby Okereke. a Bobby Okereke. Let's say hypothetically he goes and he's back to his old self. We're going to sit here and we're going to be tight. Michael McFadden, that's a good one, Les. I see you. Michael McFadden. We're going to sit here and we're going to be tight. Even though Michael McFadden, he got to be on the field first. He got to be on the field first. I will say that. But, I mean, just damn. Just damn. We just gotta do something up top first, man. We gotta coach and we put together a better product scheme wise first before we could talk about, nitpicking and all of these different players and shit like that. But I mean, granted, and I'm not talking about everybody. When I'm talking about players, there's some players that are clear cut ass, right? And they just lousy, and we need to get rid of. So please understand me when I say that. But there are some players that we're labeling as mediocre and things like that can't get the job done, man, if schemed properly. T-Thom says, so is the cancer Bowen? Is it Joe Shane? Messed up to say, but it is ownership. I think it is definitely ownership, and I think it is definitely Shane Bowen. I think both of those things. I think Joe Shane definitely has a hand in it, man. Don't get me wrong. I think all three could be the answer. But I do see Joe Shane in a different light than what a lot of people, may see him as. But again, Joe Shane could be fired today, and trust me, I will not lose any sleep. I will not lose any sleep because Joe Shane hasn't been flawless by any stretch of the imagination. But I think that a lot of things that Joe Shane has done when it comes to even putting together a roster and his drafts and, what he has done as far as putting a team together, I think a lot of it doesn't look sexy because all in all, we haven't had the coaching to develop these young guys. We haven't had the coaching to really put the cherry on top of what Joe Shane has really done in these drafts. That's just to be honest. We've ruined players. We ruined the Deonte Banks. We ruined Jalen Hyatt. We ruined Evan Neal. So I just think that, I give him a little more leeway. Les says Kafka at least showed an offensive scheme with what we had out there. I was impressed, man. I was impressed with what Kafka did. I was, man. Again, Kafka to me, I think, wasn't out there doing anything too over the top, like anything too just complicated. And I like that. I like the fact that we just kept it simple and we gave our guys, the best chance to go out there and win. We did. Like, you got to think about it. Even when it goes to that game-winning drive, I mean, that was all player doing. We could say, okay, Jameis shouldn't have thrown that ball there. You could say, all right, well, Jalen Hyatt, he gave up on a route. But what you can't say is Kafka drew up the wrong play there. I mean, we drove all the way up the field at that. You can't say that Kafka didn't give us a chance to win. So, as far as I'm seeing it, man, not bad for Kafka this week, man. El Jefe's in the building. Giant salute to El Jefe. I see you.
It's all good, baby.
So, I mean, that's pretty much that on that, man. I mean, unfortunately, I understand what y'all are saying in the chat, man, as far as just another giant loss, man. The shit is getting old. I mean, a lot of the fan base, a lot of the casual, watchers and things like that, they're out of here. They're out of here. They're done. They're done. And I don't ever blame fans for not being as dedicated as me. I don't blame them. I don't blame them for not supporting bullshit. I don't blame you on that. And this shit is just, it is what it is at this point. I think it was a lot easier to just watch because my expectations weren't too high. They weren't. They weren't at all. I mean, throughout the game, I did, feel like, okay, shit, we may pull out this dub, but we are what we are, man. We are what we are. We're a 2-9 team, and for the most part, as far as I see it, man, I'm just weeding out and analyzing what we have for next year. And the most important games for me is going to be divisional games. Dallas and Washington. Outside of that, we know what it is. We know what it is. So, yeah, Giant fans, I hate to have to say this for another year. I hate to have to, reiterate this and also tell us some news that we already know, because no matter how many times you hear it, it's just never something we want to hear. But the facts is, we got to pay attention to college football. We got to pay attention to college football, because that's the most meaningful football being played right now in regards to us. But that is that on that, man. That is that on that. Grand opening, grand closing. Ain't much to really talk about. Ain't much to really, discuss outside of what we already discussed. I don't believe I'm missing anything, but yeah, just another week, man. Just another week of Giant misery. New York Giants salute to each and every one of you, man, that has been tuned in and helping me through this therapy session, man. I always appreciate these after the Giant game, especially after Giant losses, because y'all allow me to vent. And I like when we could have these conversations and we could, talk ball, man. Talk our shit after these games, because this shit is low-key depressing, but it is what it is at this point. Again, man, make sure that you like this stream for me. And also, if you're new to this channel, man, go ahead and subscribe. Of course, you already know, man, I will be pushing out videos throughout this whole week, so stay tuned in for that. And I will holla at y'all. And until I holla at y'all, y'all already know. Fee-fi, fo-fum. Peace.
If I don't do nothing, I'ma ball and provide. Wifey said the only side piece she support is the piece on my side. Yeah. Everything gonna be fine. Rooting for her while she battling her back for my time. They say Virginia's for lovers, yeah, they lovers of crime. It's hate here like lovers of crime.